So believe it or not, this happens a ton. Whether you break your grip and you have a full grip or if you have a split grip, we've seen rods actually break right in the center between the fighting butt and the rear grip, where that trolling motor stopper slams onto the rod blank and actually breaks that rod blank. Don't throw that rod away. No matter what brand it is, what type of rod it is, we can repair it. We've done a ton of them, believe it or not. First thing I do is I'm gonna remove this old cork grip. Obviously this is a full cork grip, and I'm gonna use channel lock pliers. You gotta be really careful because you want to pinch just the cork. You don't wanna damage that blank. So as you can see, I just broke that piece off. We're just gonna throw it on the ground for now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this all the way up to the rail seat. So now you can see I got most of the cork off. So I could do this in two ways. I can clean this bottom edge off right here, and then I can put it in a power wrapper and I can sand the rest off and clean it down to the blank. Then inspect the blank and make sure that there's no cracks from that trolling motor stopper. I think this blank is gonna be okay. It looked pretty good where I saw the area that was damaged. What I'm gonna do now is right up here next to the reel seat, I'm gonna use a razor blade, and I'm just gonna get super close up to the seat and start cleaning away this old cork. And I'm actually going to replace this grip with a full carbon fiber grip. So we're gonna go with a completely different look and a completely different feel. Hey guys, just make sure you're wearing face protection because I just got some piece of epoxy in my eye. All right, get ready to sand. All right guys, so I got about an inch of the rod blank exposed right here. Blank's in good condition. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the power wrapper. I'm gonna use 100 grit sandpaper and sand this down and get it as smooth as possible. It's that new G2 power wrapper by Mudhole. That thing's got power. I think it's one of the strongest power wrappers that you can get. It's treated us really well the last few months. Definitely recommend it. It's gonna get noisy for a second. One thing I wanted to mention real quick, if you do get this power wrapper, make sure you get these support stands. I do not know what they're called at the top of my head. Call Mudhole, they got amazing customer service. They'll tell you what kind of support stand this is. It's just reinforced. This thing turns, not sure how many RPM, they'll tell you that as well. But it turns super, super fast. So if you're sanding cork down, shaping EVA, or doing any kind of grip work, just make sure you get these supports because your rod's not gonna go flying. The supports that came with it, I don't recommend them, especially if you're doing this kind of work. So this is a little update. A majority of this, what you see is old Pro paste on the rod blank from when I initially glued the handle. So we're probably gonna hit it with a 400 now, smooth it out a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go ahead and ream my new carbon fiber handle, re-glue it. All right, so I got this super smooth. Next step, ream out my handle, which I already have one pre-reamed, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue that now. So if any of you have ordered a custom rod from me before with cork grips, if you ever look at where the cork meets the reel seat, a lot of times I'll use wood filler. I just like to have a super smooth transition. And since the cork is not 1000% made to match the reel seat, I always use a little bit of wood filler just to make it cleaner. So I'm gonna clean that up right here with my fingernail. I'm gonna take off that old wood filler. And then since I'm using a carbon fiber grip, what I'm gonna do there is I'm going to use black EVA dust and black pigment in my epoxy to just make it look nice and flush. These Extreme reamers right here are a game changer. 1000% recommend them. It took us what, like 1,000 rods to build before we switched over to them?
Yeah, probably.
Watch this. It's gonna sit nice and flush, look at that. You can't see the old cork. I didn't even glue it yet. Once I use that black pigment, make it look nice. All right guys, I'm adding Armbro up here. because I noticed a little bit of wobble towards the top. But again, that's because I have to ream this out a little extra towards the top side because I have to get it over the fat part of the rod down here towards the bottom. So I have to kind of match that up here. So that's why I'm putting an arbor up here. And there we go, that's nice and snug. Okay, so now what I did was I just rotated this until it's as flush as possible on this bottom side. The reason why I do that is because when you're holding that reel, no matter really how you hold it, you got a smooth transition here, and that's not going to bother you down here when you're fishing. Little things like that make a big difference when you're fishing, you know, 8 to 10 hours a day. Now that I found where it's nice and smooth, I just mark that with a China marker right there. That way when I do go and glue, I'll know where that bottom of the reel seat meets up with the grip. I'm gonna mix my Pro Paste now. This is the Kwikset Pro Paste. Just got these big jugs. I love them because I don't have to go through these small jugs every couple days. Big jugs are definitely a win. Thank you, Mud Hole. Another thing I like to do when I have my glue mixed up, first I mix it up and I make sure that I get a nice even color. So once I get that mixed up nice and even like that, then I add my pigment. Reason why is if I add my pigment and start mixing, I don't get the color that I like when I know that that glue is properly mixed. So I'm adding some pigment. A little bit goes a long ways. Just like that, it turns black. You know, I think this is pretty cool. Jen doesn't think it's that cool. But instead of sitting here and spreading it with my stick, I'm just gonna take my cardboard and smear it all on there. Look at that, it's so much faster. I'm gonna get it on there nice and thick. Now I can kind of do the rest, the touch-ups with my stick. I know that this is a ridiculous amount of glue, but after talking to a lot of rod builders and a lot of very respected rod builders in the industry, they said keep doing what you're doing because it's working. This is working. We've never had a grip fail on us. We've repaired so many other rod brands' grips and reel seats that got loose over time. So I'm gonna keep adding a bunch of glue. And if I have left over, I got a bunch of other rods I could set up and glue some rod butts or something with, so I never waste this stuff. All right, so I got this all caked up on there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and slide it in. Again, we're gonna have a lot of excess glue. You wanna kind of turn that on its way up. Now the inside foam of that carbon fiber grip is actually soaking, you know, all this epoxy up. Again, I know this is a ton of glue. Probably gonna get a million comments. Oh, you're wasting all that glue. We're not gonna waste this glue. We're gonna use it for something else. We got 20 minutes before it hardens up. Take that off. Clean that up. We're gonna give it one more full turn. There's my China marker, meeting up with the backside of my reel seat. Clean that up, take that off. All right. So that matches up with the backside of that. See that last little bit of glue oozed out? And now I will do my butt cap. I'll let it sit for about 25-30 minutes and then I will fully clean it. I let this glue set up. If you start cleaning it right away too much, that glue is gonna move way too much inside of here. You want it to set the way that it is. That's what worked for us. There's no right or wrong. That's just what worked for us, and that's the easiest way that I found to clean and touch up the Pro Paste is just let it sit for a while. Don't start cleaning it with alcohol and stuff right away. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of Pro Paste up inside my butt cap. This is a ECC 22. It's compatible with a lot of carbon fiber fighting butts. This is from Mud Hole. I believe it might be American Tackle Part. Get glue all over my that foam that they use on the inside of the carbon fiber and some of the arbor that I made with tape. And I'm going to slide this right into position. Bam. I'm going to clean that up. Shout out to my mom. She cuts these little squares for us. Now, same thing, I use the black epoxy. When that sets up and stays in that position right there, I'm gonna use a little bit of EVA dust. I grind down EVA dust and I'll sprinkle it in there. Because this butt cap is EVA, so when I put the dust in there, it's gonna be a seamless transition from the carbon fiber to the EVA. So we'll get back with you guys in about 20 minutes before I sprinkle. And I'm not gonna waste this glue, I'm gonna go use this on something else right now. All right guys, it's been about 25, 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get my rag. I like to use a rag over a paper towel or like a shop towel just because you don't get that blue felt stuck up in there. These are from IKEA, they're great, they're cheap. Been using them for a long time.
Not sponsored.
Shout out to IKEA. All right, so that looks good right there. So now I will add some black EVA dust in there. I just take a grip and I grind that down, guys, with like 100 grit sandpaper. And I'm just gonna put that in that, right between the grip and the real seat. I'm gonna fill that in. All right, and that looks super clean. Just spray a little bit more alcohol in there. And now, I'm gonna come over here and touch up the rod butt. You really don't even need much EVA dust for this. This looks pretty good as it is, but I'm still gonna add some just because. So just check out that section. I just did that. Look how good that looks. Super flush, super clean. Looks like one piece. Now we'll make another video on what to do if you damage the rod blank and that blank breaks in half below the real seat, because we have that come in all the time too. So next time it comes in, we'll make a video. But that's it. What you guys think? Even if you don't break the rod and you want me to re-grip your rod, I could do that too.